Welcome to the No Fun Channel. I'm Felix, and I think I'm gonna start saying, please remember to like and subscribe. I haven't been doing that. I do have the pop-up comes up, so maybe I'll start doing it too. I still haven't come up with an opening. I kind of want an opening, but I still haven't come up with anything. I started doing where I review YouTube channels, and that's actually not doing too bad. I'm getting views on it. I post it on TikTok and YouTube, and people seem to like it, so I'll keep doing it. I'm only doing the YouTube channels I actually watch. It's actually not a lot, so once it's over, I'll move on to something else. But also, I keep putting off doing this one thing. I wanted to do shows that should be remade. Originally, I was just going to do sci-fi shows that should be remade, but I might just pick shows in general. And the funny thing is I don't like doing remakes because most of the time the remakes do not hit. And I'm not just talking like I don't like them. I mean, they really just don't hit. They flop. So I think I will look into doing that. I got one I want to look into. So I'll probably start with that. I might start doing that. I think having more stuff to do is helping me out a lot. I do need to go over my second book. I did finish it. I just got to go and edit it and come up with a cover for it. I'm still doing the cover myself, mainly because I don't know what I want the cover to be. And it's hard to explain what I see in my head because I see like 6 different things that I want the cover to be. But that aside, I finished my book, so that's good. And I just got to edit it and get it out. And as for doing the series of shows that should be remade, I think I'm going to start that here. Maybe I'll start tomorrow because I got a show in mind I want to do. Basically, the reason I think most of the shows I've thought of should be remade is because at the time when they came out, they were ahead of their time. And even back then, it looked cheesy. So with today's 3D effects and things like that, I think a lot of them would do a lot better. And some of them really did have good premises. It's just they weren't executed very well. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about different shows I had in mind. That one I could keep going for a while. Weight loss. I am down 20 pounds. So I was actually shocked by that. I got to keep it going. I have slipped up, but again, I'm not punishing myself. I just got to keep going. One of the things I had mentally told myself is if I get below 370, I was going to tell my wife I'll start going to the gym with her. The main reason I never liked going to the gym with my wife is because she didn't go consistently. When me and her first really started going together, she wasn't going consistently. 9 times out of 10, I was going by myself. And I did enjoy it. I go. And then when we did go together, I had to show her how to use all the machines. And I was just like, I don't know how to use the machines. I just looked. I looked at the instructions. I Googled it. That's all I did. But she won't do that. And that gets annoying. So, but I'm going to go to the gym with her. She has a membership already. And so I'll just go as her guest. And I told her we have to go consistently 3 days a week. So as long as we go 3 days a week, I'll keep going with her. But I'm doing pretty good. I just got to stick with it and not slip too bad. And hopefully I can get down below. My goal is to get down below 320 at least. I want to get lower if I can. If not, it's just what it is. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to try. I would love to get below 300. But my short-term goal is to get down to 320. And I think if I just keep watching my diet like I've been doing, I'll be all right. So, yeah, so far so good. My primary care provider, I should say, they were talking about a low-carb diet, and I was like, I'm just going to watch what I eat. And that's what I've been doing, and it's been working. I've been losing weight. But, yeah, I was shocked how much I've lost. I started off at 388. Now I'm down to 368. So it's like, nice. And I just got to keep it going. Hopefully I can do it. I have noticed my pants. I had pants that were for me. I had pants I bought when I was 388. And I kept noticing they're falling down. I was like, why are my pants falling out? That's really what prompted me to go weigh myself. I weighed myself at 372. Then I weighed myself at just recently at 368. It's like, so those few pounds made that big of a difference when my pants were falling off. So, because at 372, they were still kind of hanging on, but when I just lost a little bit more weight and down some more. So yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, it's been a good feeling, and hopefully I can keep going. I've been trying to work out consistently every day. Now, when I say consistently every day, I mean keep moving around, keep getting up and down and doing stuff. Unfortunately, this week, for some reason, I have stumbled a little here and there, but I'm going to get back into it. Like I said, next week I'm going to start going to the gym. The main reason I stumbled is because that little voice in my head has come back, and I even stopped cleaning. So tomorrow my goal is, after work, get up and clean the bathroom. I'm going to pull everything out of the bathroom because tomorrow's Friday. I got the weekend, so I can pull everything out of the bathroom, clean it, wipe it down. I was going to do the floors, the walls, everything, just going to get wiped down. And hopefully that'll get me kicked back into cleaning again. My biggest hurdle with cleaning is I got 3 people who are refusing to help, basically. And yeah, that's my wife and 2 kids. So it's like, come on, guys. Come on, you're getting to me. I did all this work, and now you're going to trash it. I'm not too happy. I got to remember to clip that. I actually like that. But yeah, I cleaned all this stuff, and now they're trashing it. It's like, come on. Come on. Pick it up. You dropped it on the floor. Pick it up. Pick it up. But, yeah, I'm just like, come on, people. Just, you see something fall. Of course, my kids, it's not mine. It's like, you know how many times I picked up your snotty rags? Pick it up. So, yeah. But hopefully, get the house 100%, and then I can start beating up everybody when they start messing up. But yeah, the weight loss, the cleaning, that's all worked together. So I just got to keep it up, keep moving around, and I think I'll get to my goal. But yeah, going to the gym, that's going to be a big one for me. The biggest reason I don't like going to the gym, like I said, is I like going on my own schedule, but I haven't gotten a gym membership because it's just so expensive. Everything's so expensive. But I think I would go now and just keep it going. I really don't need a gym membership. I can work out at home. I have all the tools, but my wife's been wanting me to go. The main reason I would go to the gym is for my legs. That's probably going to be my goal when I go to the gym. It's just every day at the gym is just going to be leg day. And then I'll come home. I can do everything else at home. I can work my arms out. I can work my chest out and all that stuff. Unless they got a neck machine. I've been wanting to strengthen my neck muscles. So if they got a neck machine, maybe I'll use it, which I doubt they will. It's Planet Fitness where I'm going. But the other reason I don't want to go to the gym is, with my luck, I could see me winding up on the internet staring at someone. They'll be like, this creep's checking me out. I'm like, no, I'm looking at the fact you're filming, and they have a no filming policy here. So that's what I'm looking at. But yeah, I watched a recent one about the gym idiot people. I do got to point out one thing. Majority of the time, I've noticed it's always a woman filming who says something about everyone else. Every now and again, I'll see some guys doing, like there's this black guy on the squat machine. I forget which one that is, doing squats. And he's like, oh, yo. And I'm like, you don't own the gym. I'm walking in front of this. And a lot of people were just walking in front of it. I was like, good for you. And of course, Joey Swole popped up on there like, pretty much, you don't own the gym, get your own gym. And the same with the woman there was a woman recording, and she set up a camera. And this other one was over there working out. And the woman that was working out left because she didn't want to be in the camera. And then she talked about haters. And it's like, no, you came and set up where I was over all by myself, and you pretty much invaded my space, set up your camera, and I decided just to leave, not to deal with the hassle. And of course, they tore into her too. Like, you don't own the gym. I think all gyms need to go back to a no filming policy, because I see more and more of those type of videos where people will think they own the gym. It's like, you don't own that gym, so I don't understand the problem. Okay, I had to adjust my camera. I didn't catch it. I kind of caught it. I kind of caught it in other videos, but couldn't figure out what was wrong. My camera's leaning to one side, and I don't know why. I haven't changed it. Oh, I did change something. I wonder if I can't move that. Oh well. I put some stuff under one side of the legs to prop it up, so now it's level. I kept looking at it because I kept having to tilt my head and like, why does the camera look like I'm leaning? And I'm trying to figure this out. I know what happened. I actually have it sitting on top of my MacBook. No, I don't have a Mac. I have a Mac Pro. Actually, I don't even know what I have. It's a Mac. But corner of it is hanging off the desk, and I think I used to have it completely on the desk. And where it's hanging off, it's causing it to lean. And I was like, oh, that's what's going on. It just dawned on me. So I adjusted that. So if it looks like I'm lined up again, that's why. And I just realized why it's doing that. It's because I got a lot of junk on my desk I need to clean up. And I don't know where all this junk came from. I just need to get rid of it. I hate that. It's like junk just appears sometimes. I feel like, where did you come from? You weren't there earlier. And then I just got all the stuff, so I need to clean up and scoot my laptop back on the desk here. But yeah, that was just, that was annoying me. I couldn't figure out what was going on. It just dawned on me. But back on topic. I used to sleep with a CPAP machine. I stopped doing it. I think I talked about this before, but I was just thinking that I stopped using it mainly because I was snoring through the thing. My wife was like, yeah, you snore right through it. I was like, and I don't feel any different. When I first started using it, I did feel the difference. And now because the thing would say also that it was sealed, that it was all good, but it's like, it can't be all good. I feel like crap. So yeah, so I stopped using it. I still have it. It's got dust on it, so I need to clean it. But yeah, it's like, what's the point of using it if I don't feel any difference? My daughter had one and she stopped. Now, I think it was working for my daughter, but she just wouldn't use it. It's just like, teenagers. I won't lie. If I was a kid having to use that, I probably wouldn't use it either. So you got that. But yeah, I'll be blunt. You're going to see a bunch of edits. I just messed with the camera because since I tilted it back up, I had it set up for my eyes where I could look in the lens. But when it was tilted, I was actually off to the side thinking I was looking at the lens, but I'm actually looking off to the side. So I don't have a place to really mount it. I need to clean up my basement because originally the basement was going to be my office and that didn't work out. And it's a good thing it didn't become my office because it flooded. So I would have lost everything. So there's that. But I may have to go down there and clean it out and like raise the floor up and let's see what I can do. But yeah, I was putting off doing this podcast today. I was going to do it Monday because I always try to do it Monday. I was waiting to see if Shits and Gigs did their Who Am I? They didn't do it. I think they might be doing it every other week or something because of the way he changed the format. But yeah, hopefully they continue. I like doing it. I like doing it along with them, recording and see if I can get it. But yeah, I've just been trying to figure things out. Like I said, I wanted to do the other thing about the shows I think should be remade and why, even though I don't like remakes. A lot of them had some good potential. They had a good premise. There we go. That's the word. They had good premises, but they just weren't executed. And there were some shows that were good shows, but they didn't get to be flushed out. And also in the 80s and 90s, there was a lot of syndicated shows, like straight to syndication shows that I thought were really good. Like Xena and Hercules were actually syndicated shows. And there were others along with that were syndicated shows that I thought were good shows. But you also had a lot of those TNA shows too back then. And right now, I think I've talked about this before, syndication is not the same as it was back then. That was a huge market. Now you got all these streaming services, so it's harder to do that stuff. But I think they should try YouTube or something like that, one of these type of platforms where you can just post whatever you like within reason. You never know, it might take off. If I had the money, maybe I would try to do something like a series. I could still do a series. I was going to do a story series, tell a story, but that'd be definitely good for helping me with my writing. I might do that too. I'm just going to try to do it all and see until I get burned out. Then if I feel like I'm getting burned out, I'll cut back on some stuff. But I need to push myself. I'm the type of person I just won't push myself. Like I said, a little voice creep back in my head and mess with me this week, and I'm going to ignore it. I really don't want to go to the gym, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to push myself to go to the gym. Oh, that reminds me, I need to try my exercise. I bought some exercise clothes when I was still around 380, and they were tight on me. But now that I've lost this extra pounds, since I lost extra 10 pounds there, I need to go try them on and see how they fit. They might fit a little better, not as tight. So I think that's also one of the reasons I didn't want to go to the gym. Those clothes were tight. I thought I bought the biggest I could get, and still was tight on me. I got a big gut. It's like if I didn't have the gut overall, I would just be like an out of shape person. So we'll see what happens. And I know I was saying I'll probably just do leg day, but I'll definitely do legs because I don't really have anything to do legs at home except squats, and I really want to hammer my legs, get them in shape and stuff. So I'm definitely gonna push myself on legs when I'm there, and I'll just do my whole workout routine instead of trying to split it up between home and there. Like I said, I'm only going 3 days a week, so my off days will be cardio, and eating right. And I was thinking about that, working out and losing weight. And, they have all these exercises for you to do, but a lot of them don't really focus on meal plans. They just say, eat this or don't eat this. And they really don't tell you what to actually eat. And I would Google it and look around, and someone will actually give you a generic meal plan for the month or something like that. But they weren't realistic meal plans, which is annoying. Very, very annoying. It's like, it's stuff you would never eat. And I think the biggest problem with a lot of those meal plans is that they're not realistic. You have to completely change your diet. Let me tell you what I did. I just cut back on the stuff I eat and started eating more, fruits and vegetables. Like, if I felt like I was getting McDonald's all the time, I'll say, I won't get it the rest of the week. I'll get it today, and that'll be that. I try not to get fast food every day. I might get it maybe once a week as a treat now. I've cut back on pop in a huge way. I still have one occasionally, but not nowhere near as much. And no, it's not going to be easy in the beginning. It's never easy in the beginning. So when it comes to your diet, one, do not go on a diet. Never go on a diet. I know that sounds crazy, but majority of the time, here's what happens on a diet. You lose the weight and then you gain it all back. Sometimes double or triple what you lost. So you dropped 20 pounds, you just gained 40 or 50 pounds. So you got to watch that. I did say triple, so it'd be like 80 pounds. And that's happened to people. They drop 40, gain 80. It's like, or drop 20, gain 80 pounds. And it happens because you go from one extreme to the other. You're overcompensating for not eating all those foods. So just an example, let's say you go to McDonald's, you get a Big Mac, you get the Big Mac meal large with a Coke, you get the filet fish meal large with a Coke, you get a chicken sandwich large with a Coke, you get the double quarter pounder large with a Coke, and then 2 20-piece nuggets for yourself. And then you stop off and pick up a pizza along the way, a large pepperoni pizza with a 2-liter. And you sit down and eat all that by yourself. And sadly, people do that. There are people who actually do that. Instead of doing all that, cut back. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but don't get the pizza. But then you always hear them say, but I'm still hungry. It's like, well, why are you hungry? You need to see why you're still hungry. Why are you still eating? And that's another thing that a lot of people won't do is address the fact that they're hungry. Or not address the fact they're hungry, but address the fact, why are they hungry? No, actually, yeah, why are they hungry? Because a lot of times it's psychological with that stuff. That's if you watch the 600 Pounds Life, he's always sending us a counseling because he knows something triggered them to eat like this. And so you got to address that trigger and see what's going on. For me, I'm just not as active. I still eat the same as though I was in my 20s is the problem. Because I could eat 2 Big Macs and a Coke and a large fry and it just melt off. because I was active. I was out moving around, having fun, running around, meeting girls, hanging out, partying, so on and so forth. And there'd be times I wouldn't eat the whole day. But that's not the issue anymore. So now it's not like that. So I'm way less active. And I think just getting to be more active has helped a lot. So yeah, I found just getting up and being more active has helped a lot. I didn't used to be active a lot as I've gotten older. So now I'm trying to get back to being active. Like I said, clean up around the house, just doing little things here and there. And so far, so good. Hopefully I can keep it up. And I believe I will. So yeah, I think I can keep it up. So hopefully I can get below 300 someday here. It'd be nice if I could do it before the end of the year. If not, like I said, I'm not going to penalize myself for it. But another thing I'm proud of myself for is I have been using the record button on my phone, and I recorded like several little tips. I had actually I got my list up here, 21 things I came up with. And as soon as I think about it, if I'm not doing anything, I immediately grab the phone and repeat it into the phone. And then once I get a chance, I'll put it on the list, and I've come up with 21 things. So it's like, this is awesome. I'm glad I remembered that record function on my phone. Otherwise, I wouldn't have thought of anything to talk about today. But yeah, it's I even tried to do an opening. I was going to do something, and it didn't sound right, so I abandoned it. And I couldn't get it. I don't have like music software to manipulate it. Actually, I do. I have a Mac. I keep forgetting I have a Mac. Oh my God. I could do it on there and see what I can come up with. I might just do that, get the snare and drum beat going. I don't need it to be that long, like a few seconds. And then I might break out my animation skills and animate me an opening of some kind. I don't know what kind of opening. Maybe I do know what kind of opening. I might work on that. Give me something to work on. But yeah, I gotta admit, I did have my doubts about the podcast, and I'm just enjoying it, and it seems to be working because I went from 0 views to 5 views, and that's the most I've gotten on the podcast, and just those 5 views have been good. I'm glad someone's watching, but again, I didn't originally do this for the views. I did it for me because I keep putting off stuff, and now I'm doing it. So I finished my second book like that. Now the second book is shorter. It's about 80 pages. If I do hardback form 6 by, I forget what the size is, but if I do it by that size, it's only 80 pages or 82 pages, I think it was. But yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing stuff I always keep saying I'm going to do. So I can't let that little voice creep in there. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep going, keep being creative, and I'm proud of myself. Like I said, I'm proud of myself for finally remembering to record stuff and get it down. And I do need to work on my art. I haven't been doing any artwork. I think I need like a week off work to get back into art. Because it's hard to draw and work at the same time. And then when I get off work, I'm so tired. I don't really do anything except sit here. So I don't know why I'm so tired. I need to figure that out. I think I'm mentally tired. Let's put it that way. I'm mentally tired. And it's hard for me to rev back up. And that's where the whole forcing myself to do stuff came into play. And I think that's how the little voice creeped back into my head. I was mentally tired Monday, and it said, take a break in my brain. And the rest of me went, okay. And then I paid the price this week. So I'll probably gain back those 4 pounds this week, but hopefully come Monday. Now I am going to work out tomorrow. Actually I didn't work out today. I knew I forgot to do something. See, mentally tired. I forgot to do my workout. Well, I'm not in bed yet. So I might be able to sneak something in. Just a little cardio. I could do it at my desk when I finish the podcast and just work out. But yeah, that little voice is a demon, man. I got a hell's angel on one side and a devil demon on the other. So it's like both of them are sabotaging me. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to get that one voice that says you can do it to the forefront and just get that voice to beat up the other 2 voices. It'd be nice. But yeah, that voice, when it came back, now just for the record, it's not like an actual voice in my head. It's like that voice of doubt. Cause I don't know why I felt I had to say that. Just, I think it was the way I was talking about it made me think, well, it's not a real voice. But yeah, that the voice of doubt has crept in there and just kicked my butt. I think it's like in your mental psyche where you're succeeding and it's like you don't deserve it. And it's not so much that I'm succeeding, it's that I'm doing it. I'm actually getting out there and doing it. And that voice of doubt popped in and it's like, why are you doing this? Nothing good's going to come of it. It's like, I'm not doing it to have something good come out of it. I'm doing it because I just want to do it. So I'm finally do it. And I'm going to keep trying to write books. I'm going to keep doing stuff. And I do need to work on my graphic novel, which I keep putting off. So I'm going to, tomorrow for sure, I'm going to grab the notebook and just sketch ahead and, sketch the head of the main character because I was working on the different angles of it. And I just stopped. It was like, I got to get back in there. So I'm going to push myself to the breaking point, basically, until I hit that wall and be like, okay, now it's time to dial back. But yeah, it's weird. And to see that I was actually getting views on my podcast and other things that I'm doing. So, and when I do shorts, those really hit. The 1 minute stories. I had talked about not doing it and then doing it, not doing it. I finally started doing that, and I'm getting good views on both YouTube and TikTok for that. And I need to advertise my book. So, A Dad's Journey Home Through Space to Hell and Back. And I did put a little excerpt from the book in there, so I might do that again, grab another paragraph and throw in there, make a 1 minute video and put out there. And hopefully I can get 1 or 2 people to buy the book. That'd be nice. But yeah, I just got to work on advertising. I got to work on selling myself. Because it's hard to sell. For me, it's hard to sell myself. It's hard to talk myself up because I see the pros and cons. And you always, people like to focus on the negative. We do it to ourselves too. So I got to work on that. And I've gotten good. One thing I got good at is like when I do have a negative, I point it out as a positive because I work on that negative to make it a positive. So I've done that in the interviews and that seemed to work because I gotten jobs because of it. But yeah, I just gotta keep going, keep pushing. One thing also to help me with my weight loss, I just thought of is I have really low potassium. And when I say low, it was the first time my doctor saw it, she was like, get to the ER now. I was like, what? And it was like dangerously, like I almost had 0 potassium. And when I was at the ER the first time, they kept giving me potassium. I was like, it's not going up. And then finally it went up by 1 or 0.%, basically. It was like point something. And then it finally went up a whole point. Like, this is not good. And my sister, recently, we had a scare with her. She dropped a lot of weight real quick. And it's like, what the hell? And it turned out it's really potassium related. So now it's like, is that genetic? Is that a genetic thing? Like, I almost kind of wish I had that effect. Mine was weight gain, not weight loss. And also, I'm pre-diabetic because of it. The low potassium can affect you in all kinds of ways. It's called it can cause mood shifts. It can cause you to be pre-diabetic, and it's all kinds of bad. So right now, I take these potassium pills that the doctor prescribed, and I'm just barely in the good zone. It's like I'm just one tick below. I'm just one tick going into the bad zone again. So it's like, I like to get it somewhere in the middle of the good zone so that way I have some room to operate, Oh, if you take too much, it's like, I got plenty of room to play with. Let's up that dosage. Let's get that dosage up. So that's what I need to talk to him about. So when I go back, it's like, let's up that dosage. Let's get that dosage a little higher in the potassium because I'm still dangerously low, and as far as I'm concerned. And it's just weird how that potassium can do all that stuff. Because if you follow the potassium going down, that's when everything else that should be down was going up. Everything that should be up was going down. and my weight was definitely going up along with it. And so was my mood and attitude. Oh, wow. I just thought of that. Maybe that's why I never did anything sooner, because of the potassium. Like, it does affect your attitude and your personality a little. And I felt off. And I didn't know why. I just assumed, I saw this weight gain. And really, the potassium was super low. So that actually could explain a lot. Maybe if I got my potassium up sooner, I would have been doing this sooner. Another thing I need to do is I need to start advertising my podcast, which is something I've been trying to do clips from them. I need to go back and do clips from all of them. Just sit down. I was doing that in the beginning and I stopped doing it. Like I said, I don't know what it is with selling myself, but I'm going to get better. I'm going to go and create clips from all of them. Maybe I'll make a clip of me talking about making a clip of my podcast. And I got the hardback version of my first book, and there was no numbers on the pages. I had an index, but no numbers on the pages. So I had to resubmit it real quick. And it's not like I sold it, but I resubmitted it and it got approved. I know I had numbers in it. I don't know what happened to the numbers, but it is what it is. Now, with the book not having numbers, I know I saw numbers in there. Where the hell did the numbers go? I was like, so yeah, it's my first book. Second book, I'll try to be a little more cautious with that. I probably won't get good at that until probably the fifth or sixth book, maybe. But it is what it is. I'm just going to keep doing it, keep writing books and putting them out there. But yeah. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask. I saw this with people talking about going to their high school reunion. Who actually goes to those? I know some people still go to those, but why? Because my thing is, if there's people you want to see, you would see them. And there's really no one at the high school who I want to see. I haven't kept in touch with anyone. It wasn't like out of malice or anything like that. It's just we went separate directions. I had some people I associated with. Notice I said associate with. Unfortunately, I realized I really wasn't their friend, so I stopped hanging out with them. Because they would go do things and I wasn't invited. So it's like, okay, I get it. So I stopped reaching out to them and the friendship ended. So it wasn't a friendship. Or friendship. I think I'm saying friendshiped. But yeah, it's sad that that happens. But the time I did hang out with them, I had some fun. But I don't like being the only one reaching out. So I stopped doing it. Right now, I don't have any friends. And it's kind of sad. But it's kind of good because I don't like being around people. So, yeah, I think I talked about this before. If I had friends, I have to associate with them. But since I don't have friends, I'm in the clear. But then I wish I had friends. I could go do stuff. But then on the other hand, I would have to go do stuff. So there's that double-edged sword, as they say. So, yeah, that's a head scratcher for you. You want friends so you can go do stuff. But you don't want friends because you don't want to go do stuff. You want friends so you can socialize, but you don't want friends because you don't want to socialize. Figure that one out. Oh, I can clip that. I'll do a couple clips from this one. I'm going to be a clipping fool. But I just don't get high school reunions. Oh, the first high school reunion I actually had, I didn't get invited. I didn't even know it happened. I wasn't sad about it. It was like it was someone, I ran into someone. They were like, oh, I didn't see the high school reunion. It's like, when was the high school reunion? I didn't get an invitation. They were like, and then later I ran into someone else. And they said, well, don't worry. You weren't the only one. It turns out they didn't invite a lot of people. It's like, okay. It's like, did they just invite the people they remembered, or was it they invited a certain clique of friends to the high school reunion? It's like, all right, whatever. So I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss anyone. Like I said, I can't think of anyone I want to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, if there's someone I want to reach out to, I'll reach out to them. Otherwise, I'm good. But that also brings up, I was listening to TikTok and toxic relationships, and I don't get how some people get into those relationships, to be honest with you. Because to me, I know I talked about relationships before and toxic relationships, but my thing is there had to be red flags and you chose to ignore them. And I know people say, well, you're victim blaming. In some cases, yeah, I am. I'll admit it, I am. Because if you constantly are dating the same type of person and constantly riding up in toxic relationships, then yeah, you need to take some responsibility. Now, if it's just one toxic relationship you wound up in and you didn't know what to look for, I can understand that. Not everyone is as self-aware as I am. I get that. It's taken me a long time to realize that, and I think it's really sad that people aren't as self-aware as I am, or more self-aware even than me. When I see people who are less self-aware, it's like, how do you survive? Because I see danger everywhere, and that's how I managed to stay alive for so long. Because there have been some situations I could have wound up in that I would be dead right now if I hadn't been paying attention. So, yeah. So toxic relationships are an interesting thing to me. Because I'll hear the TikTok stories. Now, again, I know some of those are fake. But I'll hear the stories, and it's like, they'll be like, the mother-in-law never liked me, and she used to do things. It's like, why did you marry into that family is my first question. Did you think things were going to change when you got the ring on or something? When you guys became husband and wife? That doesn't happen. And you can also have toxic relationship with family members too. I'll hear those things, and like you'll hear, like there was who was that podcaster? I can't think who it was. I saw it on TikTok. He was calling his parents out basically. He had them on the show and was talking about, you used to hit me. No, we never hit you. CPS got called. Nah, they got called once, but that was because of that. It's like they were gaslighting. He's like, it happened. I remember it. You beat me. It's like, what was interesting about that, it reminded me of every TikTok skit where parents are like, I never hit you. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you did. And so, yeah, you're going to have toxic relationships with your family too. And it's sad when that happens. And when I hear those stories of parents abandoning their real kids for the stepkids, and sadly that happens for real too. And it's like, how could you abandon your kid, go to your stepkid, and now you're like, this is my kid, the stepkid's my kid. And then if your biological kid starts being successful, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's my kid. That's my kid. And you don't understand why they don't want anything to do with you. It's like, you left me when I was 10. I don't know you. So, yeah, there's that. I just think it's interesting how people can be like that. And it's like, you gave birth to this person, and now you're treating them like crap. I don't get how people do that. Like, how are you able to be that evil to treat your flesh and blood that you helped create so poorly like that? It's like, that's... Then there was that woman who was using her kid to give Brazilians to women. And they were like 5. I thought they were a little older, but they say they were 5 doing that. And then people were, she's learning a craft. She's getting a work ethic. She's doing this, that. Like, she's 5. Back off. And we need the names of all you people who agree with this. You need to be put on a watch list. It's like, you hear these stories. Some of them you're like, oh, that can't be real. And then you find out some of them are real. It's like recently there was a bride whose future mother-in-law threw stuff on her wedding dress. That would have been one messed up mother. It's like if my mother-in-law threw something on my suit, like smack, like, what is wrong with you? That would have been a brawling family up in there. We've been all throwing hands. Like, what in the world is going on? But, of course, I wouldn't have married into that. Again, I feel like there would have been some telltale signs. Because if she was willing to do that to the wedding dress, she did not hide her feelings. I guarantee it. So, yeah. Sometimes I do look at the victims in situations like that, toxic relationship. I don't mean the ones where they're getting the crap beat out of them. Because that is different. In that situation, you're scared this person's going to kill you. But in just a manipulative person, toxic relationship, I'm always like, how did you not see the red flags? But then also you got to take into account cultures too. Because I think this was an Asian family. So she could have just stayed because she didn't want to look bad on the family, didn't want to make his family look bad, so on and so forth. And culture can play a huge factor in that. So yeah, I mean, I try not to victim blame all the time, but there are times when you look at a situation, like when I hear those women talk about there's no good men. I was watching one and the guy goes, "Oh no, there's good men. They just don't want you." And I was like, yeah, yep. Because what they talk about high dollar man, a good man, and the type of guy they're describing is not going to put up with their shenanigans. That guy's going to walk away. That guy's got better things to do than to put up with your mess. So I always find that very interesting. What I find interesting about it is it's always the women who think they're high dollar women too. So it's like, so that group who thinks they're high dollar women are not high dollar women. But what I find interesting is the high dollar women who are high dollar women don't go around saying they're high dollar women, which also I find interesting. The women who are high valued women understand that it's their money and they can do whatever they want with it. If they want to date a guy who's broke, they can date a guy who's broke. They ain't got to worry about it. And there are women who will spoil their boyfriends, just like a man spoils their girlfriend. But when a woman does it, the woman's criticized for it. When a man does it, it's expected. So the double standard really comes from social media and the media. But in the real world, women who are secure in who they are don't give a damn what you think. They're going to do what they're going to do. Women who are truly high value women understand what it means to be a high value woman, and they understand what it means to date a high value man. And some of those high value women do not want a high value man in that sense, that they just want to go have fun because they now are in a position where they can be in charge. They can be what they call the alpha. Oh, that reminds me. That just popped in my head. I forgot all about that. I was watching TikTok, but I'll get to that in a sec. But they can be the dominant one in the relationship and just lead. And, you know, a lot of women actually do like that. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I think more women should do that, take the lead. You might be surprised how the guy reacts to you when you take the lead. But back to the alpha. This guy was talking about alpha is an element that's fragile. And actually start off saying, if the guy tells you he's an alpha, believe him. Because he said it's an element that's fragile, and if that element gets inside you, it's very toxic and eats away at your insides. And there was a whole lot more to it, but the way it was just like he described alpha as a fragile male, and I thought that was awesome the way he did it. And he used science to break down why you should believe an alpha when they say they're an alpha, because basically they're fragile. Their ego is very fragile, and I was just like, nah, I love that. I should have saved it. I think I liked it, but I'm not going to search for it now, but. Yeah, I was like, that is awesome. I love the way he described that. And what's funny is I came across a skit where this woman was talking about she's like a zoologist hunting down alphas, and they were trapping them and stuff and relocating them. And they were talking about they are an invasive species and we are relocating them. I like, that's hilarious. But there was one they were tracking and it's like, oh, that one's a beta. He's not an alpha yet. Well, we'll keep an eye on him. I started laughing. Like, that's pretty good. I like that skit. But yeah, it's just toxic relationships are weird to me. And you know, it goes along with the alpha mentality, which has gotten really popular in the past, say, 5 years, 10 years, which is really stupid. I mean, technically, that mentality's been around a long time. But it became even more popular thanks to the internet. And it's like, I'm an alpha. No, you're an idiot. Or better yet, no, you are an alpha because you're fragile. So look at the definition of what a alpha element is. So I thought it was interesting. But some other things I wanted to talk about was, now I usually try to stay away from really truly hot button topics or political stuff or religious stuff. I'm not sure where this one would fall in, but it's when people talk about, I'm not black, I'm Dominican, or I'm not black, I'm Cuban, I'm not black, I'm this. I get what they're talking about, but I also understand the other side of why people are offended by that. We'll go with the offended side. The reason people are offended by that is because too many times them saying that was used really as a racist remark. It was used in a racist way because they were trying to say, I'm better than you because I'm not black, I'm this. But not all of them were doing that. And I think that's where the problem lies, that you had these racist people doing it and they were screaming the loudest, which took away from the other people who weren't doing that to be racist. They're just like, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. And the reason, if you think about it, in Africa, how often do you see African people refer to themselves as black? And they usually refer to themselves as where they're from because they know where they're from. In America, black people aren't allowed to call themselves Americans. We have to be African Americans. We have to be black people. We can't just be Americans. Honestly, I think we should just we need to ditch the African American. We need to ditch color recognition on employment forms altogether. But we need to ditch the African American and just say we're American. Race is on applications because of discrimination. It was actually put on there really to discriminate. And then it was used to determine if companies were discriminating. So really we just need to get rid of it altogether on applications. Other countries, when they hear that we have that on there, like, are you serious? You have that on there? They don't have that on there. Now that's not to say they don't have racism. I'm just saying they don't have that on there. It should have never been on there to begin with. But this is America. But yeah, I do get what they're getting at when they say, some of them I get what they're saying. The other, I get both of them because some are saying it to be racist and some are saying it because that's what they are. And then on the flip side of that, as for black people in America, some of you are getting mad for no reason because you're mad at all of them when you only should be mad at the ones who are really using it for racism. But I understand the problem with that is you can't tell who's using it for racism and who's using it for just to identify that they're Dominican. Even with Afro-Latinos, someone would just say they're Latino. Really, they shouldn't have to say Afro-Latino. They're just Latino. And I've always hated that we have to have African on the beginning of it. It's like, I'm American. Why do I got to separate myself? You know, it's not really a thing in a lot of other places, but I have to do it here in America. And why can't I just be American? And it's like, it's not allowed. It's like, no, your skin color says you're African American. No, my skin color shouldn't have anything to do with my nationality. My nationality is American. And unfortunately, that's how it is. Now, can we change it? Sure. What happened within my lifetime? Probably not. To be honest with you, it probably won't happen within my lifetime. It'd be nice if it did, if something catastrophic happened to where they realized this was a huge mistake in the first place. It'd be nice if aliens came down and said, yeah, we're only taking people with a certain pigment to their skin to this paradise. Of course, I'd probably get left out. That would suck. My wife and kids would go like, no. Can't they like +1 somebody? Me +1 me? My mom's light skin is where I get it from. So I was like, how about +2? I take my mom. But yeah, it's a sad situation. I just wish racism didn't exist, to be honest with you. But, wish for it to go away and do something about it are two different things. Have I personally got up to do anything about it? I'm going to be honest, no. Most people don't. And that's another thing that's always bugged me in the media is like when something happens in what they call the black community, and that's bugged me too. It's like black community. But how come you don't say white community? It's black community. And they always ask like the black celebrities what their opinion is on the situation. But you don't really see that with other interviews. Even other races, you don't see that asking the other races their opinion on stuff, unless it's a hot button topic in the media. And it doesn't even have to be a hot button topic for black people for them to ask this question. And they'll just go and ask random black celebrities these questions. It's like, that's not really something you should be asking. Ask them about the movie. Ask them about their music. Ask them about what they're there for. Leave that alone. And And when you see stuff happen in the black community, you also see, they always like, we're the leaders. We're the leaders. How come you don't ask that for other communities? I always thought that was interesting too. It's like, you don't ask that for the other communities, but you got to ask it for this community, which is interesting. I probably won't talk about that stuff much more because it does piss me off. And I'm really trying to stay positive. But yeah, it's just like the media does not help with this stuff at all. It'd be nice if the media did, but unfortunately it doesn't. Let me talk about something else then. Focusing on my dreams. And like I said earlier, really that just comes down to me getting up and moving and doing stuff. And I do want to get my graphic novel done. I have pages I did and I need to redo them. I just need to get up and do it. For some reason, when I look at it, it's like it feels overwhelming. I don't know why. It's like I was doing it in the beginning and I had to stop because of work and stuff like that. I just didn't have the time. I was burnt out when I come home from work. So I need to figure out how to do this and push forward and get it going. I'll figure it out. I'm going to be confident that I will figure it out. I'm going to be confident in it. I just wish I knew what that block was about. The only thing I can think of is the voice of doubt is still messing with my subconscious. Oh, that's another thing. I was talking about toxic relationships, and I forgot there was something else about that. Not so much toxic relationship, but ignoring people. Like, when is it okay to ignore people? And I saw that question. I heard that question. I was like, people, ignore people when you see them at the store and, different things. And if you work with someone and that's all you do is work with them, I'm not required to associate with you outside of work. If I see you and you turn down the alley fast, I'm like, oh, thank God. But sometimes if I see you, I'll just do the, hey, how's it going? And keep going. I'm not there to talk to you. I don't know you. You don't know me. So let's just keep it pushing. And to me, I don't see anything wrong with that. If you guys aren't friends, if you're not, doing anything outside of work, or if it's just someone you don't like, why should I have to interact with you? Some people get hurt by the fact you didn't interact with them. It's like, we don't like each other, so why would we interact? That doesn't make any sense. I don't like you. You don't like me. Let's go our separate ways. But then you really do have people who think, well, just because we don't like you, we can't be cordial. Considering what you've done and did, yeah, it does. I'm not going to be nice to you. Just stay away from me and I'll stay away from you. So I don't see any problem with that. If you want to avoid people, avoid them. In the long run, it's going to be better for you and your mental health. Just avoid them. Stay away from them. But when I saw that question, some were kind of, at first they were kind of hesitant, and then they were like, yeah, just avoid them. They were fine with it too. So it's like, but I just thought that was interesting that someone asked that question, when is it good to avoid someone? Like, or is it okay to avoid people? It's like, yes, it is okay to ignore and to avoid people. There's nothing wrong with it. If it's not hurting anyone, it's not hurting you in any way, do it. If it makes you feel better, definitely do it. If it's good for your mental state, definitely do it. There's so many positives with ignoring people, so don't feel guilty if you don't interact with someone. Now, there will be people who try to make you feel guilty. Ignore those people and move on. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and that question actually led into like your partner. They talking about ignoring your partner or talking to your partner, and I feel like you should be able to talk to your partner. I think I actually talked about this before, but you should definitely be able to talk to your partner. You don't have to talk to them about every little thing, but you should feel confident enough or comfortable. There we go. Comfortable enough to talk to your partner. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your partner, and your only reason you're with them is, oh, I love them. It takes more than love for a relationship to last. You can love someone and them not being right for you. It doesn't mean it's going to be a good relationship. And if you end up ignoring your partner, that's not necessarily a good thing. Because you guys aren't communicating, and it takes communication for a relationship to work and to last. So yeah, it's okay to ignore people, but if you're ignoring your partner, it's time to move on. It's time to get out of that relationship and move on, and find something new. You just got to let go. You got to move on. I move my hands a lot. I was just thinking about that because I saw my hands in the frame. I'm down here. You can't see them. I'm moving them. You'll see my shoulders moving. It's because I'm moving my hands. I do talk with my hands sometimes. And during interviews, I've had to lace my hands, or I will openly focus on me not moving my hands. I haven't tried not to move my hands. And the reason you don't see my hands is because I have the camera zoomed in a little. And so it cuts off where my hands would be. And I don't want to open it up, man, because this is a tiny office, and I think this is the best view. That's another motivation to clean up my basement. I can have a wider view. I can get up and move around and do stuff. Maybe record my workout and put it up. But yeah, it's interesting. Well, back to relationships. It's interesting when I hear people in relationships just not talking to each other and they just stay together. It's like, I understand even if you separate, you have no plans on seeing anyone else. If it's a mutual thing, then okay, fine, stay together. But if one is still trying and the other is just done with you, to me, the one that is done with relationship needs to be honest and just own up and be like, look, I'm done with this relationship. I've been done for a long time. I just didn't feel like saying anything because I didn't want to argue. But I need to let you go, and I need to let you move on so you can find someone to make you happy. And I get why some people don't say anything, because they recognize, they know their partner well enough to know that if they say something, their partner's going to freak out, and it's all downhill from there. So they just keep quiet and suffer through the relationship, which is horrible when you think about it. Because that goes back to being not comfortable talking to your partner. It's like, you can't talk to your partner, even about something like that. Like, you went out the relationship, but you can't talk to them about it. So yeah, it's sad when that happens. And the fact that you can't even tell your partner you went out the relationship is even sadder. But people will stay in a relationship for that reason. But since we're on relationships, there is something I've been curious about. There's been women on TikTok and other sites with Down syndrome, and guys are making videos going, wait a minute, let me explain. And I was thinking about that. Like, these women are of age, they're legal age. Most of them that I've seen are in their 20s. And I think it's weird that you got to explain why you're attracted to them. Because some people get in their head, they have Down syndrome means they're slow, they're stupid, they don't understand. Like, no, that's not all the time what that means. Having Down syndrome means they do learn a little slower, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're stupid. Some of them are engineers. Some of them are studying to be all kinds of things. Some run their own business. I remember someone started their own ice cream shop, I think it was, and they actually run the business. So it's like, yeah, they might be a little slower, but it doesn't mean they're stupid. It just means it takes them a little longer to get something done. I've ever seen one kid, he had half a brain and was studying to be an engineer. Like, I got a full brain and I can't do that. So it's like, what's my excuse? And again, there are people who don't have Down syndrome who are way stupider, and you don't see anyone say anything about that. But yeah, these people have Down syndrome, not stupid syndrome. It just means they're a little slow. Now, there are different severities of Down syndrome. I do understand that. But the women I'm talking about, these women understand what they're doing when they get on these apps. Let's just put it that way. They know what they're doing. And the fact that there are some people who are like, oh, you go, queen, or you do this. I want to be honest, it's the women who are just like celebrating them, and then who are disgusted that men are looking at them as sex objects. I got news for you. She's still a woman, which means she still has needs and wants. And you ever consider she wants to be looked at as a sex object because of people like you around her telling her don't date those guys. And she wants to fool around. She wants to have some fun. Let her. I mean, like I said, she's a legal adult. She's legally allowed to live by themselves. All the ones I know, they're out there mingling, doing stuff, and living their life and living by themselves. And I don't see the problem with it. It's like they're doing what they want to do, and you're getting in the way. Just get out their way and let them have some fun. Oh, but they're going to get taken advantage of. What about all the women who don't have Down syndrome that get taken advantage of? How come you're not out defending them? So, yeah, I think it's weird that people look at that. If they see a normal guy dating a girl with Down syndrome, the first thought is, oh, he's being sweet to her. And then they think, who's his real girlfriend? And I'm not joking about that. There's a lot of people like, oh, I wonder who he's just being nice to her. God forbid he actually likes her. God forbid he could actually fall in love with her. And it's the same the other way around. If you see a woman dating a guy with Down syndrome, it's like, oh, she's so nice. And they're like, why can't she like him? What if she actually likes this guy? There's nothing wrong with that. If he's mentally competent to be on his own and do things for himself, there's nothing wrong with her liking him. But again, people see what they want to see a lot of times with that stuff. It's like, just leave them be and let them be happy. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, if they're one of the severer cases, then yeah, I can understand that. And I think that's what the problem is. When people hear Down syndrome, they think of the most severe cases and not the other way around. Like, the severe cases happen, but there's a lot of them that aren't that severe where they can still function. They can still be part of society and can still do things. So I think we should just leave them alone, let them have their say and have their life, and it'll all be good. So I do got to say, recording all my thoughts before the podcast has helped a lot, because I had a lot to talk about. I don't feel like I stuttered as much. I'm getting better at this. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And there's going to be more to come, so I'm going to call it here. I still want to get an opening and ending. The opening and ending will probably be the same, but I would like to get an opening and ending. I'm going to work on that this weekend and see if I can get an opening and an ending. But once again, thanks to everyone who's watching. And I actually just choked. I didn't get choked up, but I actually choked. My nose is clogged up, or clogged up again. I think my nose is clogged up from where I kicked up all the dust when I was cleaning. That was gross. There's a return vent that had been covered up by boxes, and we completely forgot about it. Well, not completely covered up by boxes, but the boxes had surrounded it. And I just started cleaning or in that errand, and I was like, oh my God, the return vent's right there. That's why this thing's struggling. And we moved the box, and it was just, I moved everything, and it's just dust on the vent because it's like off to the side out of the way. And we put these boxes over to get them out the way. And it was like empty boxes, we just never broke down for whatever reason. And finally I broke them down. And it's like, oh my God, there's a lot of dust. And I had to get in there and vacuum. And I was like, no wonder I'm probably clogged up and sneezing all the time. It was this vent. I hit the other return vents, but I missed that one. It's like, if I would have thought of it sooner, I probably could have saved a lot of sneezing and coughing. But yeah, so I definitely am going to stick with the cleaning, get this house 100% again. But what I was getting at is, thanks for watching. I appreciate it more than you realize. I hope my views keep going up. And again, I didn't start this to make money, but if you guys want to help me start making money, that'd be awesome. And the truth is, I actually thought about starting a Patreon, mainly because I've always wanted to do adult videos. Not me in the adult videos, but animate some adult videos and see how they work, and see how put a few clips out there and see how they do. And once I get my animation skills up, maybe I'll start doing that and put a Patreon. If you want to see something risque, I'll put it out there. Shits and Gigs actually does 2 podcasts a week, and the second one's on their Patreon. I guess they really go at it. And I don't know if I don't have the energy to do that, but yeah, maybe if I can get some animation together, I might start doing that and put it on there, or just creating videos that I'll put on the Patreon exclusives. Also, obviously, I don't really have a following right now to do that, but it's something to think about. But I've been into this 3 times now, but yeah, I'm going to call it. Thanks again for watching. You guys take care.